Martinique Brown, and I am the owner and founder of Today I Want to Be. We are solving the problem of kids and youth not seeing someone who looks just like them in a variety of career fields. We are a career exploration resource for parents and educators, and through our interactive products and virtual interviews, kids and youth are able to see representation of their race and gender in career fields that they may not even know about. With every product we create, from our educational aids to our apparel and accessories, we are intentional about encouraging and helping kids and youth see that they can become anything they want to be. We are the only company who not only focuses on career exploration for kids and youth, but we also give them an opportunity to ask professionals about their careers every month during our free live virtual interviews as student co-hosts. If you are looking for a company that is dedicated to helping your child or student see that they can become anything they want to be, make sure you visit todayiwanttobe.com today. Calling all authors and publishers. Did you know Everything Authors has a free downloadable directory of platforms you can promote your book on? No longer will you have to search multiple places to market your book because you can find them here. Download your list today at everythingauthors.com/free-resources. That's everythingauthors.com/free-resources. Want to promote your book with Everything Authors on our web shows and social media pages just like these authors? For less than $9 a month, learn more at bit.ly/promote on web show. That's bit.ly/promote on web show.
lovely young lady. Do y'all see her in this? She's a business owner. A business owner. Kiss your brain. A teacher. You can be a teacher like Miss Joseph. Very good. I see. Or you could be who remembers? Say, I can be a social worker. I can be a social worker. Yes, a social worker.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of your official invitation to show where you are actually invited to learn a lot more about our featured author and their book. If this is your first time ever tuning into the show, make sure you go ahead and share this video now so that more people know about our author as well as her book. I'm really excited about our author here today. Her name is Tresa Sullivan, and she's going to be talking to us a lot more about her book called Tips for Sips, Thoughts, Inspirations, and Parables to Start Your Day. We always need those words of encouragement to start our day off right, because a lot of times the devil is here to attack us daily. So you better be feeding yourself with words of encouragement and the word of God as well. So now another great thing is about this show is we are interactive with this show. So you can actually post your questions and your comments in the comment field. So now if you're watching from any other page other than Martinique Y. Brown, Teresa's page, or even Everything Authors, I need you to come on over to one of those three pages so that I can see your questions and your comments, and I can actually relay those to Teresa as well. So now another thing that I would love for you to do is check out that description box, because that's actually where all of Teresa's contact information is listed. So now you might say to yourself, man, I'm telling you, that Tips for Six book sounds great. I want to read it. Let me Google it. You don't have to Google anything, because right there next to the dollar sign is actually the book purchasing link. And you can actually purchase Teresa's book right there from Amazon. Also, if you're interested in meeting Teresa at any of her events, and she's going to be doing her book signing, it's right there in the description box as well. And you also want to follow Teresa on Facebook so that you can always just stay in the loop. So Teresa, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, Martinique.
You are welcome. So can you tell the viewers just a little bit more about yourself and how long you've been a published author?
Oh, wow. Well, as far as that's concerned, it's not very long. My first book was published this year in April. I am a preacher's kid. I was teased,
Oh.
growing up for being a PK. But that's part of the reason that I wrote my book is because those things that I was taught as a child. And I just wanted to share some of those things that we kind of forget.
Mhm.
We learn them as a child and a young adult. And as we get busy with living, we forget about it. So,
Yeah.
um, a little more about me is I am a contracting officer for the federal government. I
Mhm.
have taught composition and rhetoric undergrad before. I've worked in personnel. I've had a very, very varied background as far as professional life. So,
Mhm. Mhm. So now, what is composition and rhetoric?
composition and rhetoric is actually a writing class. It teaches folks to write creatively. It's more like creative
Mm.
writing, and it includes rhetoric, philosophical things, things that we just write for ourselves, not expecting anything back, sharing
Mm.
thoughts of that nature, things of that nature.
Okay, okay. That's good. So now, like I said, viewers, make sure you go ahead and share this video. Now, one thing that I forgot to ask you all to do, give us a virtual shout out. Let us know that you are in the virtual world. We will not bite you at all. So now, can you just share with us your journey of, where you were at that really just inspired you to write Tips for Sips? Because I know you talk a lot about the journey of people's life in the book summary. So talk to us
Right.
about your journey that made you want to write your book.
Okay. I've always been a writer. I remember the first thing that I wrote, I believe I was in third grade, and it was entitled When I Fall Down the Hall. It was like just a 3 line
Yeah,
poem. When I fall down the hall, I realize I'm not very tall at all,
that's so
but
cute. Yeah.
but so, and ever since that point, I just felt like it was something for me to write. But when I started writing Tips for Sips, it did not start out as writing a book. It started out, my
Mhm.
sisters and I would always discuss our devotions. And of course, being Teresa, I always had something to add, my 2 cents worth or whatever.
Mhm.
And I would say something and my sisters would say, "Oh my gosh, that's good.
Mhm.
I like your stuff as well as the people that we're reading. You
Yeah.
should write it down." So I started writing things down. And I know a lot of people don't know, but my dad passed away last year from Parkinson's. So
Okay.
and the time that I was doing some of the writing, I would read for him every afternoon, every evening, So once he passed on, my sisters and my mom, just continued to encourage me to continue my writing and to publish it. They thought that other people would find some good use for that. So I finally
Mhm.
just got the nerve to jump out there and do it.
So when you talk about, jumping out there and doing it, it's so like pretty to say, yes, I'm an author, I wrote a book, but how did you even know where to start or who to even look to?
Well, I had honestly years ago, I've written about 17 children's books that are still somewhere tucked away, and they
Oh,
have
that's
not been
not published.
not published at all.
Oh, wow.
So that was my first goal. So I reached out, and I know that from experience, finding the right publisher is a hard thing to do. And because maybe the way I was raised and maybe with my job, even looking for a small business was what I wanted to do with mine to promote small businesses. So in my search for the children's books, and then someone that I knew had published a book with Pearlie Gates. And so that was an immediate path with me for me. And so I just reached back to that. I'd spoken with Angela prior to about my children's books, and for whatever reason, I never moved forward. But
Mm.
with this, I went back, and Angela was like, "I'm ready. Are you ready? Are you ready?" And I'm like, "I guess I am."
I know that's
So,
right.
and there it
Yeah.
is.
So shout out to Angela Edwards. She is
Yes,
actually the the owner of Pearlie Gates Publishing. If you
yes.
guys are interested in having your book published, make sure you reach out to Angela. She's actually shared on this live stream as well. So now, can you just walk us through your book, Tips for Sips?
Okay. Tips for Sips is a journey that is a conversational thing. I didn't, when I wrote it, of course, I was writing with and sharing with my sisters, and I didn't want it to be something that was stuffy or something that when you read it, if you felt like somebody had a ruler about to spank your hand about something that you did wrong or something that you didn't do or whatever. I wanted it to be a conversation with me and my sisters, and then it spread it to not just me and my sisters, but
Mhm.
anyone that picked up the book. I wanted it to feel like you were talking to me, like you were having a conversation with me or an old friend. So I started with the first thing. What I want everyone to do is to take care of me first. A lot of times we spend so much time taking care of other people and making so many sacrifices, not realizing that to take care of ourselves first isn't really letting other people down. It's doing what we need to do in order to be able to help someone else and sustain ourselves. So this book starts off with taking care of me first, and it ends with what are you going to do with information that you have? Are you going to just sit on things or are you going to share it? And each day there's a nugget, there's something for you to read and reflect upon, something that may have happened in your life, something that you can relate to, not if not you, someone that you know. So you find it, you read it, and then you think about it and you're
Yeah.
like, wow, I never thought of it that way. So the journey is to bring you back to things once learned and to refocus where you're going and to think about yourself and where you're going with that and who you really want to be.
That's really good. So now, it also sounds like your book helps people to find what their purpose is.
I believe
Um,
so.
what do you believe that your purpose is?
My purpose, as if you have the book and you read it, my dad always told me never let anything separate me from the love of God.
Mhm.
And I just felt like my purpose, if I can help anyone find that little road, that's something that, you have a desire that you've forgotten about, or you're stuck in a rut because you're just living life and you're going through life, you're not really living it. And I feel like
Mhm.
if people read this book,
Yeah.
that they and focus on it and actually write in that reflective portion after each session to have something to go back to when you're stuck, that you'll find yourself refocusing,
That's
being
good.
reinvigorated, re-energized on just things that you want to do for yourself as well as helping others.
Now, if you're just now tuning in, you are watching Your Official Invitation. We are here with Tresa Sullivan, and she is talking to us a lot more about her book called Tips for Sips. Make sure that you check out that description box, because right there next to that dollar sign, you can actually purchase her book, because that's where the book purchasing link is as well. If you are tuning in right now, give us a virtual shout out. I see you. We have Tonya Austin who's tuning in. She said hello, enjoying the show. Make sure that you, Tanya, I'm gonna call you Toya today, but Tanya, I need you to go ahead and make sure you share this video now so that more people will know about Tresa and her book as well. So now, one of the great things that you talked about, is that reflection side of it. But if people do not click on that purchasing link, they would not know that you have 63 sessions that
Yes.
you wrote in your book. So that means you are really getting a lot of value. Even if you was to do a session a week, just to give
Yes.
yourself time to really reflect, you still have 11 sessions for the next year. So now, can you talk to us or tell us a little bit more about two of the sessions that you discuss in your book?
Okay. I spoke briefly about the taking care of me first. I think that's very important. And that's why I started with that session to get you started, to rev you up. People started to think about that when they read it. I really do have to take care of myself. That's
Yeah.
the instruction that you get when you get on a plane, when you're on a ship, when you're on a boat, or even other things, even in a car. Buckle in, take care of yourself first. So that way, if
Mhm.
something happens, then you are able to take care of someone else. But one of the sessions that I really like to show that I wanted it to be a little lighthearted
Mhm.
was to dine with danger. Dining with danger. That is, I believe it's session 18.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but just look for it. But it's about two young men and a female who are literally, according to the session, dining with the devil. But it is in real life, the chances that we take in life, and sometimes we go on like the one young man and we see things and we know that that's not what we really need, and we have the wherewithal to move on. And then sometimes we're like the young female in the session who is apprehensive. She's doing a little bit, but she's thinking a little bit and she's pulling back. And then sometimes we all are like the young man who's just all in, both hands, both feet. And then we realize later that we've made a mistake. But the good thing about it is that God, He is there to always pick us up when we make a mistake. So
Mhm.
I think those are two very important sessions in the book.
That's good. That's good. So shout out to Travis Sheard, as well as Felicia
Hey,
Parks.
Travis. Hey,
Make sure that you
Felicia.
guys go ahead and share this video now. So now, when you talk about these sessions, though, are you saying that a session is maybe a short story, and we're able to look into maybe people's lives, and then we can reflect on how it is parallel to our life? Is that what a
E-
session is?
Exactly. And not only into other people's lives, it's our lives. It's some of the things are so relatable that you can say, oh my gosh, I knew that all the time. I felt that, and I haven't thought about that. And sometimes the sessions are sessions where you say, wow, I never thought about it that way. So, yeah, you get an opportunity to relate to things that may be personal to you, things that may have happened to you, or
Mm-hmm.
things that you know that have happened to other people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you
So
get
now,
to, oh, I'm
and
sorry.
say, what was you about to say?
I was going to say, and then when you write about that, I have a tendency, I don't know about other people, but I know if I write something, it makes it more concrete. It makes it a real thing to me. So I can think back, oh my gosh, I remember I wrote about that. And then I can go back and grab the book and look and, and
Yeah.
refresh, give myself a little reminder of some things.
Right, right, right. So now Tanya said she went ahead and shared this video. Thank you so much, Tanya. And
Thanks,
Felicia
Tanya.
said that that's her favorite session as well. So now, talk to us about not feeling guilty about taking care of yourself first, because I know that that's one of the first sections that you actually talk about.
Yes, I know that for years I felt like in order for me, I thought I was taking care of myself by taking care of everybody else and putting things. That's what it is to be a mother. That's what it is to be a sister. That's what it is to be a daughter. That's what it is to be an aunt. But I realized at some point that, I am missing some things. I am missing some self nurturing. And that's not to say that I wasn't getting it from other people, but when you forget about yourself, then in time, even though you're trying to take care of other people, you get worn down, you get
Mhm.
broken down, and you don't even know it. You don't
Yeah.
realize it until one day you just wake up and you're like, what the heck?
Uh-huh.
And then you start thinking about, I got to do some things for myself, and I think it's so important to not feel guilty, because when you take care of yourself, it makes you stronger. It
Mhm.
makes you more youthful, more vital and everything. So then when you help others, you have that strength. It's that inner
Yeah.
peace, inner strength to be able to do that and feel good about it.
That's good. That's good. So now, if you guys that's tuning in, if you have any questions for Teresa, make sure you go ahead and post them now. You can be tuning in from Martinique Y. Brown or Everything Authors or even Teresa's page, and I'll be able to see your questions as well. So now I know that sometimes when you begin to take care of yourself, that's a new side of you that maybe family members
Yes.
and friends are not used to
Yes.
seeing. How do you get them used to maybe you saying no to some things that they may ask you to do? Because it's a part of taking care of yourself. There's strength in no's.
Listen.
But how do you get people used to you always, accommodating them and putting them before yourself? How do you get them used to, the new you?
Well, here's the thing. You will have some people who will acknowledge that and realize that, but then you're going to always have, it's going to be somebody who's not going to be used to that. It's going to be someone who's not going to want to be used to that. And that's one of the
Hmm.
things that I talk about in the book as well. It's the passage, I believe, sort your friends like you sort your laundry. It's one of those
Mm,
things where when you find that someone doesn't think enough of you to allow you to take
that's
care of
so
yourself,
good.
that
Yeah.
you don't need that. So that's one of the things that you're going to put over there, and that, oh,
Uh,
that's that synthetic fabric that I can't work with. So
yeah.
you will find it, and people will get used to it. And it may not be initially, for some people, they may not be willingly accepting of it,
Yeah.
but in time they will get used to it, and they'll start doing things for themselves as well and realize that they can take care of themselves a lot
Mhm.
more than they thought they could.
That's good. That's good. And I think that one of the things that I had to really learn was, sometimes God needs that opportunity to
Mhm.
show himself to other people
Yes.
instead of me, like always having to or thinking that I need to rescue somebody out of a situation. So, that helped me in that area as well. Why did you feel that it was important to include reflection sections after each session, though?
Because, as I said before, I know for me, if I write something down, if someone tells me something, I can hear it. And sometimes I can give it back to them years later verbatim. But if I
Mhm.
write something down, it's something about connecting that pen to that paper that makes that thought concrete to me. And
Mhm.
then it's also a way to hold myself accountable. So if
Yeah.
I write something in there, if I've learned something and I say, oh, this is, and make a note about this is something that I should do, then I have a tendency, if a situation arises down the road, I might come back and grab that book and be like,
Mhm.
I said I wasn't going to do that, or I said I was going to do that, and kind of hold myself accountable that way. When something is in writing, it just seems to be more real to people.
Yeah. And what I like that why I like that you added that reflection part of it is because I know that I'm just the type of person that I do checklists. So, I'll read your book and be like, well, I checked that off my list, but when the author is asking you to take time to reflect on it, then it's like you're chewing it up, you're digesting it, you're really like incorporating it into your life, and it's giving you time to, think about what
Hmm.
you have read and how maybe it affects you as well as affects others as well. So you guys make sure that you go to that description box, and right there next to the dollar sign, you will see that book purchasing link. Make sure that you go ahead and click on that link because we're just giving you a taste of the book, but like I said, once you click on that link, you will actually be able to look at all 63 sessions that Teresa has included in her book. So now, Teresa, I know that you have a couple of book signings coming up. You have one on the 18th, that's in about 5 days, in
Hmm.
Jonesboro, Arkansas. And then you have one in Hayti, Missouri, that's coming up on the 19th of July as well. And that information is also in the description box. But you guys, that's why I always encourage you to follow our authors. For Teresa, you can follow her on Facebook or you can follow her on Instagram, but you always just want to stay in the loop of what the authors are doing because when Teresa finally publishes one of her 17 children's books, we want to know. So you want to make sure that you follow Teresa as well. So now, what did you actually feel was missing from bookshelves that made you want to actually write tips for tips?
I felt like that reflection piece. And I know that there are lots and lots of daily devotions out there.
Mhm.
And for me, when I'm reading them, I almost feel like I'm in school or it's just a quote from the Bible. And don't get me wrong, of course, we know that the Bible is our daily bread. But when we have something that we can actually relate to our daily living, I just felt like that was what was missing and an opportunity to actually put your hand in it.
Yeah.
This book gives you an opportunity to write. And later, I have two other tips for sips coming out.
Mhm.
Tips for Sips 2, which is more thoughts, inspirations, and parables to start your day, and Tips for Sips 3, which is join the conversation. Because at some point, I am going to start a blog or some type of thing where I can hear back from people about
Oh,
what
that's
they wrote
good.
down in those reflections. And then we may even be able to get a compilation of that and put something out with everyone else's thoughts in it as
Oh, that would
well.
be so good. That'd be
Yes.
Teresa. Come on, we're gonna have to have you back on this show. That'd be so cool, though. Just to hear people's thoughts, and then I really feel like that's how we learn from each other, from hearing what other people are saying. That's why I like classrooms, with
Yes.
my classmates because you learn from them
Mhm.
as well. But, Teresa, I definitely appreciate you for being on the show and really just helping us have a better understanding of your book. Tips for Sips, Thoughts, Inspirations, and Parables to Start Your Day. Again, guys, I know that I'm a broken record, but if you are interested in purchasing Teresa's book or just reading the book summary just to have a better understanding of it as well, make sure you go to that description box right there next to that dollar sign. You can actually click on that link and you can read her book summary as well. I always tell people you don't have to wait till Christmas to give somebody else a book. You can purchase the book now and you can be a blessing to somebody else, or you can be a blessing to yourself and gift yourself the book. Make sure that you go ahead and follow Teresa on Facebook or Instagram so that you will always just stay in the loop of her other writings and when she's in your city as well. We definitely hope that you guys have a great remainder of the day. Don't forget to continue to share this
Yes.
episode of your official invitation. I definitely appreciate your comments as well. And for everybody that's tuning in, if you never want to miss an episode of one of Everything Author show, make sure you go all the way down to the description box and you can follow us on social media as well. We definitely hope that you guys have a great remainder of the night and we will talk to you all later. Bye bye.